What is your name?
My name's Sophia Graciano. I'm from here in California in Whittier.
What happens after life?
I believe after life or after someone dies, they can either go to heaven or hell. I believe in paranormal activity. I believe that if a soul has unfinished business, that they'll probably stay and reside on Earth until going somewhere else.
Do you think like all the souls of like, maybe like dead people like in the past like are still here?
Definitely. I believe that some still lurk around. Ever since I was a little girl, I feel like there was another little girl kind of attached to me because I lived in a house where she was killed at. All I know is that she lived in a house and she was going to school, and as she was walking outside of her house and going across the street, that a bus hit her, and so her spirit kind of lingers in the house still since she never made it to school.
Wow, that's a pretty crazy story. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
What is your name?
Veda.
Veda, nice to meet you. I'm Chavi.
Nice to meet you.
So I was just wondering, do you have any like thoughts of like, what you think would happen after life?
I kind of do believe in reincarnation. So I feel like, yeah, you go into someone else. Because like with deja vu, you like feel like you've experienced things before that you've like never experienced.
So do you think that like you had any like past lives, or like what do you think that would look like?
I feel like I lived in the 90s in my past because I really like the 90s a lot. I don't know if I was an animal or a human. Maybe an animal because I really like elephants. I do kind of believe in ghosts.
So what do you think like a ghost like would look like, or like?
Maybe just like a formation of light.
Well, thank you so much, Veda. I really appreciate your time. So what is your name?
My name's Shulin.
My name's Danielle.
We believe that there's some sort of like afterlife. So like for example, maybe we become other people and like experience other those person's lives.
Yeah, I think we try to stay positive in thinking that something good is out there at the end of the day, and that when we pass away, there'll be something waiting for us better, maybe. Do you think better?
Better?
I think better.
Yeah.
I believe in ghosts.
Yeah.
I think they exist.
I think so too.
I think they have to, but I don't know how that plays into our afterlife.
Me too.
Because I feel like in afterlife you're supposed to be in peace, and I feel like people say ghosts are people that are not in peace, so I don't know why they wouldn't be in afterlife. Mm-hmm. But I do believe they exist.
Yeah, I believe ghosts exist. I feel like ghosts and spirits are like, they're kind of stuck in limbo, like they haven't found their way to peace yet. I do know people who like, they felt presences, but they kind of see it like through their animals, like their animals kind of freak out, and then they just like look at the reaction, like, what's that? And it's probably a ghost.
Hi, what is your name?
My name is Sophie.
Do you have any like theories or thoughts regarding like what happens after life as we experience it?
Personally, I think afterlife, we become dust, like we turn into atoms and we go off into space. But I mean, you never know. My cousin said that he saw a ghost in the corner of his apartment when he was little. Like he would see like this one person just hanging around, and when he moved, he never saw that person again. So I'm not sure, but yeah, I just think that we become like free things in space. My grandparents are Christians, so they're pretty religious. Like they think we go to either heaven or hell. But yeah, personally, I think we become like atoms, like I said, in space. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. I'm not religious, so, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Sophie. So what do you think happens after life? What is your name?
Mariah Allen.
What do you think happens after life?
Well, I'm a Christian, so I do believe after life there is judgment, and God decides whether we enter heaven or hell. And if you make the right decisions in life, you'll end up on the other side with the pearly gates and the streets of gold. I think reincarnation is possible. Maybe you get multiple chances to get into heaven or hell. It's not really explicitly stated, so maybe. I definitely believe that there is like another dimension with like spirits and things like that. Like definitely other beings out there in this life.
What is your name?
My name's Haley.
What do you think happens after life?
I think that when we pass, we go to like this place for a specific amount of time, and then you get reincarnated a certain amount of times. It's already set in stone, and then when you finally reach that set of numbers, like you go to your final resting spot. So I didn't really too much believe in heaven or hell, and I was never really religious, but I also don't think we just disappear entirely.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I do. I think after my grandma passed away, I just always felt her presence right at the beginning, and so I think that's when it started, but other than that, no.
What is your name?
Braden Holland.
What do you think happens after life?
Whenever as a kid, my mom said that she was a big believer in reincarnation and that, once you die, you go into the next life with something else. And I remember when I was a kid, I asked her, the population is growing substantially. How? Because you can't just keep on coming back one after the other because then and then she said, your soul gets fragmented into different things, and so you become multiple things. And I always liked that. I always had the idea that your soul splits off into multiple things and you go off into... So maybe I'm not as conscious as... I'm not a one-to-one, but maybe my soul gets split. Honestly, I wouldn't mind just being done with it though. Just resting after one and done. I feel like I've lived here 21 years. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't need to do another one. I'm good. But either works.
When you say the soul gets split into all these different pieces, where do they wind up? I'm just curious. What do you think that would look like? Yeah, well,
I think, we go into other people, we go into animals. I don't know, just sort of the essence of who we are. And if you're a good person, hopefully you are, you get to spread some good before you go. And I always like that. I always thought, if you're doing good, good will spread once you're gone. Yeah.
What is your name?
My name is Liat. I'm from Ethiopia, Addis Ababa. That's the central city.
Do you have any thoughts on what happens after life?
Judgment Day would come and heaven and hell. Basically, that's what I think.
Do you have any other additional theories? If you believe that spirits are around us?
Actually, I do kinda. Whenever I'm walking, when I look at my shadow, I feel like someone is following me, if that makes sense.
And who do you think that is?
Good question. Maybe spirits or I don't know. But I feel like someone is just following me around. And then also when I'm looking at one direction, I feel like someone is walking past me, but I'm not really seeing that person. Honestly, there was this one crazy story when my friend's family went to a funeral and the person was inside the casket. And after they're all grieving, they heard the person knock inside of the casket. So that was just pretty weird. Also, when I heard about it, I'm yo, is that real? Did that really happen? But yeah, that's the closest thing that I heard.
And was that in Ethiopia?
Yeah, it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.